welcome. This is Michelle Marchant Johnson from Love Life Coaching. I have a wonderful special guest. She is Wendy Newman. She's a very good friend of mine and a colleague, and she's just amazing, so you're in for a treat. We're going to share with you some of our deepest understandings about men, some of the things that we've learned about them and from them. One of the reasons I think this is so important is there's so many studies that show that your primary relationship can be one of the highest predictors of your overall satisfaction and happiness in your life. And, as you probably already know, if you've had relationships that haven't been very happy or satisfying, it can also be a source of deep heartache, pain, and sorrow. And so that's why I think it's so important for us all to be seeking a greater understanding of ourselves and the dynamics of relationships. Now, I believe that men need to also have a deeper understanding about women. And one thing I want to make clear is anything we talk about here is not about you twisting or conforming to be someone that you're not or being less than who you are in the world. In fact, I believe that you should be out there in the world being the very brightest, boldest version of yourself. But this is about you knowing how to more effectively navigate the world of dating and relationships so that you can actually have more of what you really want in your life and in your love lives. And I believe that you are a woman of exceptionally high value and you deserve to have the relationship you most desire with someone that you can admire, respect, and trust. Wendy, I'm going to have you start out by telling us just a little bit more about your personal story, and then we'll have you share some of the key things you have learned from and about men.
Sure. Thank you, Michelle. So how I got to be here today is in 2002, all the way back to 2002, I left a really great long-term marriage that had one little deal breaker in it that we just could never wrap our heads around. And so at the end of a long-term marriage, the first thing I did as a single person is I went out and I found a workshop to do, and I sat myself in that hotel room in the seat for 2 days to learn about men so I didn't screw up the next one. I didn't know anything about the seminar company. I didn't know much about it. All I knew was I was going to learn about men for 2 days. And unlike you, I didn't have the wherewithal and the knowledge to find out the information about men from men. I had to hear all about men from a woman because, you know, you can trust another woman.
Right.
And that's where I was all the way back in 2002, where I thought, you can trust a woman. Don't know what you can trust a man for. Boy, has my life changed since then. So I did this 2-day workshop, and it happened to be by relationship expert Allison Armstrong. And I fell so in love with her body of work that I started working for the company right away. So here I was newly single, and before I knew it, within a matter of weeks and months and then years, I was a man expert, a relationship expert, a partner expert, and I was single, which was interesting. So one of the first things that I did as a new staff person for Allison is I started researching men. It's part of your job there. You want to teach women about men, you got to put your money where your mouth is and make sure what you're saying isn't just what she said, but your own actual experience. So over the years, I've led, like Michelle said, I've led hundreds of workshops. And in these workshops, each workshop has a man panel, a little mini 4-person man panel on a Sunday afternoon. So I've heard hundreds and hundreds of men talk about topics on the man panel, but also in my personal life and in my professional life, I've researched men. I get them together in groups. I take polls through Facebook. I have one-on-one conversations in depth with people I know and people I don't know. And so I've really gotten the skinny on every single dingle topic I could think of that men could answer about being a man and about women and dating and sex and relationship and commitment and marriage, infidelity, and the whole ball of wax. So pretty much any woman could walk up to me on the street and say, hey, what do you think a man thinks about blank? And I'd probably have an answer for her. I think my answer would start with, my answer would start with, are you asking about your man? Because if you are, you should just go ask him. But here's what I know. So, yes, I did all that research, and then I did my own research on, not intentionally, but on my 121 first dates, and that was never, ever something that I had set out to do like a goal. I didn't think dating was a fun thing to do. I didn't want to be a serial dater. I thought being newly free and single with all this new man information, I'd be single 2 seconds and I'd only need to go on 1 or 2 dates. But nope. It took a decade because of a couple of different reasons. But one of the biggest reasons is I was really clear about what I was looking for. And I knew that a couple of things that I needed to be happy for the long haul, those 2 things were really hard to find in one person. So I knew it. I knew that I was asking for almost the impossible, and at 121 he showed up. So that's my story.
You deserve an award. You deserve an award.
Thank you. And lucky 121's name is Dave, and we live together in San Francisco. We've been together for 4 years with our dog.
Okay.
Do you want me to dive into the 5 things?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing. I just wanted the ladies to hear a little bit more about your story. And one of the things that stood out there for me, which I think is really important, especially if you want a long-term committed kind of relationship, is one thing that you mentioned there, Wendy, which was the clarity you had about some things that were really important to you. And this is a whole other topic, but I think there's this line between having that clarity and also feeling like, are we being too picky and all of that kind of stuff. But I believe that actually having greater clarity about the needs to have things, the absolutes, not all the nice to haves, is a really good guideline for us in meeting and attracting the right person. Would you agree before you move on?
Absolutely. They probably want to know what my 2 things are, do you think?
They do. We all do.
One of the things that I need in a relationship is a lot of freedom and autonomy because I go a lot. I just got back from a 20-city book tour over a 6-month period where sometimes he was with me and sometimes he was not with me. So I need a lot of freedom. I need a lot of autonomy. That's one thing. But another thing that I wanted for the very first time in my life, another thing that I really, really wanted was I wanted a masculine, take charge, alpha, I got you man. And when you get that man, what flavor you usually get with that is controlling. So,
yeah, that's true. That can happen a lot, can't it?
Right? So to get the freedom and autonomy married with super duper masculine was a really tricky flavor, but I nailed it.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I bring that up because we all have lists, and you really want to look at your list and see, hey, does this deal breaker thing that I really have to have, does it cancel out the other deal breaker thing that I have to have? So you're oftentimes, you might find that you're looking for 2 men and thinking that you can get it in one because movies will tell you can.
Yeah, movies.
Yeah.
What we all should base our expectations on, right?
Yes, he can be a billionaire CEO, but pay all of his attention to you. Mm-hmm.
That's right.